Hey Suns fans, it's 7-Footer again from Bright Side of the Sun. This is the second installment of my College Players to Watch series, and this time we're going to be focusing on wings. One thing I wanted to mention before we got started is there's going to be one noticeable omission from this list. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist from Kentucky has already guaranteed that he will be returning to school for another season, rather than entering the draft. So instead of focusing on a player that I knew the Suns wouldn't have any chance of drafting, at least this year, I wanted to spend that time going over the other four prospects that I believe the Suns would be well served taking a look at. Another difference in this series is that unlike the point guard edition, for the wings, all four of these players are going to be first round picks. There is going to be a significant drop off in talent between the first and second round, so if the Suns are serious about addressing the wing position, then these are the players that they should really take a look at. So, without any further ado, here we go.
Our first player is Harrison Barnes, a 6'8 sophomore small forward from North Carolina. Barnes averages approximately 17 points and 5 rebounds a game, while shooting about 45% from the field and 38% from 3. Barnes is a very skilled player, and he plays very smooth and in control. He's athletic, he's tall, he's long, and he scores easily from anywhere on the court. He possesses a very good mid-range shot and also has good finishing skills off the dribble. He's also a good team player and has a high IQ for basketball as well. The biggest knock on Barnes is that he sometimes forces shots rather than passing the ball. He only averages about 1 assist per game, and for someone who touches the ball as often as he does, that just isn't enough. The only other real negative that's commonly referred to for him is that he lacks the killer instinct that could put him over the top. For someone as offensively skilled as Harrison, many people expect to see him take over the game in the clutch, but he's been just as likely to disappear for long periods of time as he is to will his team to a victory. He did have an impressive tournament last year though, where he showed that ability we've all been waiting to see, so time will tell if he'll be able to replicate his success again this year. Still, Barnes should be the first small forward taken in the draft this summer, and he'll probably be a top 5 pick. So it's unlikely the Suns will have a shot at drafting him unless he drops significantly due to a poor performance in the tournament. Next up is Austin Rivers, a 6'4 freshman shooting guard from Duke. Rivers averages about 15 points and 3 rebounds a game while shooting about 44% from the field and 37% from 3. Rivers is extremely fast and athletic, and he's a very skilled ball handler as well. He's an excellent shooter with NBA range who can also score in the paint by getting separation with his quick first step and driving into the basket or shooting a floater. He also has a killer instinct and has displayed a knack for hitting clutch shots at the end of the game. He's a gifted defender as well, whose quickness allows him to stay in front of his man and move laterally. However, he sometimes gambles on defense rather than relying on sound technique and his quickness, but that's an area he'll probably improve with in time. Another knock against him is that he sometimes takes bad shots or tries to shoot too many threes rather than getting to the rim or drawing a foul, and he also needs to focus on moving better without the ball as well. Rivers has tremendous potential and could develop into an elite scorer at the next level. Many people feel he could benefit from staying at least another year at Duke, but if he decides to enter the draft, he'll likely be a late lottery to mid-first round pick, and the Suns should definitely take a hard look at him if he's still available. Next up is Jeremy Lamb, one of the more unique wings in the coming draft. He's a 6'5 sophomore shooting guard from UConn. He averages approximately 18 points and 5 rebounds per game, and shoots at nearly 49% from the field and 34% from 3. He's very athletic, plays with a silky smooth style, and appears to glide around the court effortlessly. Lamb is a very good shooter with NBA range and has a nice mid-range game as well. He also moves very well without the ball in his hand. Lamb is freakishly long with a 7-foot wingspan, and he can jump out of the gym. His length and athleticism also make him a very effective defender as well. The only knocks on Lamb is that he's not a very physical player, and he could still stand to add some size and strength to his long and lanky frame. He would also benefit from driving to the rim and getting to the free throw line more often, where he shoots over 80% from the line. All in all, Lamb has really impressed me as I watched him throughout the season. At first I was a little weary of how he would fit on the Suns because of how he kind of reminded me of Josh Childress, and we all know how much trouble the Suns have had finding a way to utilize his talent. However, Lamb is a much better shooter than Josh, and his ability to move without the ball and take over games have definitely won me over. He's now one of my personal favorites heading into the tournament, and a player I'll be keeping a close eye on. Lamb will likely be a late lottery to mid-first round pick, and I think the Suns should strongly consider drafting him. Last on the list, but certainly not last in talent, is Bradley Beal, a 6'5" freshman shooting guard from Florida. Beal averages about 15 points and 7 rebounds per game and shoots at about 43% from the field and 33% from 3. Beal is an excellent shooter with deep range and a quick release, and he doesn't shy away from taking clutch shots. He's a very good athlete and also has a very high basketball IQ and has been a great rebounding guard for Florida as well. He sees the floor very well and also has excellent ball handling skills, which gives him an ability to play the point guard position as well. He's a great spot-up shooter, but also plays and moves very well off the ball, and he's also a very smart and skilled defender. There really aren't a lot of negatives about Bradley Beal's game, but if I had to choose something, I would say that he's athletic but not particularly explosive. Sometimes he also gets locked into shooting from behind the arc rather than driving to the basket, but since he is such a skilled shooter to begin with, that's not really something that I would necessarily say as a negative. Beal is arguably the most NBA-ready freshman wing due to his maturity and IQ that complement his skills as a shooter and a secondary facilitator. He is likely a top 10 to 15 pick and will probably be the second wing taken in the draft behind Harrison Barnes. That is, if he decides to come out this year. His scoring and rebounding ability make him a great prospect for the Suns and one of the odds-on favorites to be drafted by Phoenix in the first round.
And there you have it. I believe any one of those 4 players I showed you in this series would be an excellent addition to the Suns team. It's just really going to be a matter of which player falls where and what draft pick the Suns end up with. This will conclude the second edition of this series. Stay tuned for the third and final edition coming soon, where I'll go over the big men that'll be in this draft. Until then, this is 7 Footer from Bright Side of the Sun, and I'll see you soon.